like only go and blink and then immediately into the shard and then tries to farm.
Yeah, exactly.
More viable.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to as well, right? Because that's always the problem Tiny has, is if you go for one or the other, and usually you need to transition. If the game's going late and you're not winning, it's like, well, now I have to try and do a bunch of damage with the eggs on the shard. But maybe if you just plan for that initially, maybe that's the recipe for success. I'm looking forward to what they're going to be able to show us here on the mid lane. Tiny. Laning versus the puck, not too bad, at least when you have more points in tree grab, but eventually I think Dendi's going to be able to dodge too much of your damage.
The top lane, the Bane is also going to make it a bit difficult. They are going to be running the Nyx Legion in the end, so securing the anti-mage's lane, I think it's appropriate. Bane tends to do pretty well against Nyx. The thing is, level 1 Nightmare against Nyx, not ideal, because he regens a lot, so the harassment from the Nightmare is not great, and you might just want to have the healing of Brain Step instead. But player's choice.
Player's choice. Big ol', I mean, it's only level 1, but big ol' Fatal Bonds there, sharing a lot of damage here between the Creep Wave and Pasha, who's got a lot of mana to burn. It's not a lot of damage is the thing, and Watson, I think he overestimated it quite a bit. So they'll both come out of that one alive. Shaman has plenty of regen to munch on. He's just going to go in and wait for the Fatal Bonds to end, and then probably pop that healing salve. Not trusting Pasha to avoid a stray auto attack from Nofear. I've been there before. There he goes.
Never trust your core, guys. He was only thinking about himself. That's the way you play support. I feel like if Pasha goes for the passive build to this game, where you max Drunken Brawler in the lane too much against AM, especially now that Drunken Brawler actually has a passive component. It's no longer just the active, which helps you out a lot against AM, just to crit him constantly. He has okay armor though, AM. It's not like he can't trade, but obviously Bruise would be better.
Look at how they managed this top, by the way.
That was impressive. The Hawk, he got blocked by the tree there. Actually eat the tree with his own tango, get the extra regen, and they still might be able to kill him. Oh, he didn't get the moment of courage there towards the end. Doesn't really matter. Beautiful impale by TSA, guarantees the kill. And that was beautiful by the Legion as well. You see how he was attacking the Drow between only when the tower was attacking other creeps, so it wouldn't aggro to her. It was really smart. That's really hard to do.
I was even going to point out the creep, the way they messed with the creep wave as well, because you notice there's probably a couple of creeps behind the tower, and then LC quickly noticed, oh, Dahak, I noticed that you're under tower, and as Drow Ranger, the hero with the biggest wind-up in the game, you're going to have a tough time here, and immediately turned it into a kill. Really nicely done. Yeah, definitely. Everyone's out of mana down bottom, but the only one out of life is the Warlock. But Watson, totally healthy here. I think he's maybe consumed a tango or two. He's probably consumed 2, considering they stack in 3s. But he's really having a pretty easy time here. Ah, well, you know. Velheor is going to deny himself onto the tier 2 tower. Nothing to miss there. Nofear still gets the kill credit though, but not a lot of gold either way. Was out of regen, so it's faster for him to just make the quick TP on over. And you still get the TP scroll from denying, well, quote unquote, denying yourself to a tower like that.
Indeed. So it's fine. I would say denying got buffed because of that, right? You could argue, or
yeah.
I mean, let's call that denying, right? Because nobody denies themselves to the neutrals anymore. So dying to a tower.
Real quick though, Dendi is not having a great time in this mid lane. He's being out CS like crazy. Of course, Lorenof, I think this number's a bit inflated because he can pop over to the side camp every now and then. But even then, the 6 denies to have versus the puck is pretty brutal, and he is very forced out of lane already. Well, zoned away with the tree.
I mean, that's pretty insane. Usually the matchup between Tiny and Puck is not too great for the Puck though, because yeah, you have a lot of lane push, but unless you're constantly attacking the Tiny, which is not easy. Your magical damage doesn't do much against this hero, was a really good strength gaining, really good strength as well. Look at this, he's hitting for Dendi.
Yeah.
Oh, and top as well, they're also fighting. Yeah, I saw that. The Hawk sees the opportunity with the Brain Sap. They finish off this Legion Commander. They see TSA as well. Eine has the Nightmare. Can that set up for the Gust? They don't have a Gust. So it's not going to set up for anything. Eine instead takes the creeps for a ride, heals himself, and makes sure that the creeps won't go under tower, so the Hawk can last it a bit more effectively. Or he just messed up. I'm not really sure what he was. I kind of was giving him too much credit there.
Well, the Hawk nailed one of them anyway. I didn't catch the other one to see if he caught it. But yeah, Dendi is not having a great time here in this mid lane. We'll see how that continues to develop as he gets more and more levels. The good news is that the deny situation is not awful, but Lorenof, okay, the toss missed at the very least. That's going to keep Dendi at least a bit more healthy. So Lorenof will pop his water rune. Very interesting how the entire river is made out of water, and yet you need to pick up a rune to put any water in the bottle.
Yeah, because it's too shallow.
Big,
Think of it as a geyser, right?
what Big Water wants you to believe. Big Rune.
Let's see, Watson in the bottom lane. He is starting to find velheor, but unfortunately with a Warlock, you can be as aggressive as you want at the AM, and Warlock's like, guys, I can auto attack. It's not much you can do.
Yeah. Nofear's here to keep him topped up on HP. With the wagon, they might look to get off a nice fatal bonds. Oh, they didn't connect it to the wagon though, so it's not going to do that much. And that'll be that. Velheor's max HP, has 2 mangoes. Very quick there on the counter spell. Velheor though not consuming any of the mangoes yet, so no threats, but good damage by Velheor. Good damage.
I'm surprised, by the way, that Pasha still had to go for the Cinder Brew build. It is the best build for a Brewmaster, but it's quite cocky against AM. I think he's not going to be able to hit enough. And he will be doing something that I was actually talking about in the patch analysis about the Brew. He's going to go for the bottle. Yeah, nice little drunken brawler there. He's going to go for the bottle. Now with the double runes, it makes sense that offlaners can go for bottles again much more reliably. And Brewmaster is one of the better users of it, because he usually has mana problems. So earn, bottle, and your mana problems are solved.
Rotations mid lane here from both supports. Eine and TSA just exchanging, you know, some hellos as they'll walk their respective ways around Baroche Pit and then probably say hello again and continue to spar in the top lane. But Dendi here doing a little bit of a better job now, kind of recovering 29 and 6 as he finds some time to farm the camps in between. Of course, flash farming all the rage. Now is Pasha. Actually, he's going to die there.
Oh, okay. So Pasha falls here in the bottom lane, and yeah, he unfortunately can't really fight without velheor nearby to cover it.
Rotation top
lane. Yeah, they're looking for another kill here against the Legion Commander. They have a Tiny as well. I think this should be a kill against Legion. They toss him back, yeah, towards the Drown Ranger. Using Prosti attack, not going to be enough heal. And it does seem like Limitless has a limit, and it's going to be now.
Yeah, the Nightmare was pretty much as quickly as Nyx could have toggled on over. Oh,
that was so close. Sorry, bottom lane, they almost got the Hex there. Right at the edge of the counter spell as he was blinking. That was almost incredibly slow by velheor. But unfortunately, counter spell a bit too strong.
Yeah, especially if you got the reaction time for it. Shaman pretty telegraphed. His cast range is quite weak as well from level 1, but they have actually managed to catch him here. He's got Hex ready to go for Watson. Didn't commit it yet though, and there's no counter spell, but he knows that they can't realistically get a kill. So he'd rather save his mana.
Right now, Watson is just trying to... I mean, he's managed to push at the Brewmaster. He's had a pretty decent lane for what the matchup is, particularly because the Brewmaster's build though. Now with the Cinder Brew level 3, one of the advantages of this build is still the fact that it's really mana efficient, so you can just continue to put pressure. But the healing from the Warlock mitigates the Cinder Brew damage completely. Because the DPS is not as effective as the Thunderclap, it just is more mana efficient.
Well, I'd be curious what the breakdown is, because of course AM only with 1 point in the counter spell has a little bit of extra magic resistance anyway, so I wonder what's worth it.
Just for the pain? Have duel as well. Wow, okay. They really hate the pain. I mean, the duel seems logical because you get the extra damage, but that Dream Coil seems... Sure. I mean, you get a kill.
Yeah, I guess it's important. I mean, Dendi needs to get involved in some kills. He has a DD rune, so we might consider to stick around top lane for now. We need to get the ball rolling as well for LC, otherwise it's a hero that, well, you've got an AM on your team, right? So you can't really rely on him to have a good laning stage and then try and, you know, salvage a bad off lane or a bad mid lane. It's not really what this hero does.
Let's see in the bottom lane. I feel like velheor looking for on Watson. They're trying to force him to blink defensively. There we go. And Tya's like, hey, Am, you thought you were getting away? There's Avalanche, Hex, Shackles. Goodbye.
Oh wow, even
rotate the Hawk just for the securing the kill, and it's gonna work out for them because this also allows them to take a tier 1 tower bottom and even put the Hawk in the easiest place to farm. I think it's appropriate to do this.
Yeah, nice rotation there by the Tiny. He goes top. When the enemy mid goes, when the enemy mid goes top, you go bottom and make plays elsewhere on the map.
But LC can solo push this tower though, which makes her a bit stronger, especially because she went for the full Prosti attack build, which is how I've seen her build.
Going for Blade Mail as well here, actually. Nice item to have versus the Trout.
Pasha, Dream Bottle. Okay, yeah, they have the Waning Rift as well. I think he can just use Primal Split though. He's waiting to do it. There we go, Primal Split. Surprising Dendi. They almost initiate into velheor. All of the Prolings stun themselves against DSA.
Nofear TP's away.
Nofear does TP away, but we are seeing the Puck trying to still go for the kill. In fact, and they're going to try to kill Puck instead. They kill TSA here with the Prolings as Dendi trying to run away with that salve on him. Avalanche nearby. Can they toss something onto him? Dendi. Oh, they got the avalanche off, but he does phase shift in time to prevent most of the damage, and he's capable of getting away. Duel wasted up top, by the way.
Wasn't this AM
and now,
the female persona?
Okay. Enough. Okay. They're going for the Legion Commander. Can they kill her? They're waiting for the toss play. Oh no! She's too slim! She gets to the trees. Tiny's too fat. He can't follow up, but he can't do the toss thing. Tiny needs to go to the gym. Stop grinding so much.
Well, that's the thing. He just wait. You know, it doesn't have even taken a point and grow.
You'd expect that the guy would be buffed by how much he's doing this little somersault in the air. Oh my goodness, Lorenof.
I mean, what's crazy to me is that Lorenof killed Wei, you know, the AM persona, and then regular anti-mage showed up.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's true. Oh, it's true. But the portrait's still the way. Yeah, I mean, because he spawned in, you know, we spawned in as Wei for Watson, and then all of a sudden he's back. Magic be damned. I guess reincarnation is real, guys. Sometimes we don't reincarnate as the same person. That's incredible. That's true.
Sorry, it blew my mind.
Before.
And yeah, me neither. I've seen lots of missing hair. That's very normal. TSA mid lane is going to be missing off the map. Oh, wow, they caught Dendi.
But they caught Dendi. Mid.
Yeah, I caught the kill mid lane. What happened to Dendi?
I did not see that. I did not see
Blink Dagger. Blink Dagger reveal there for Lorenof. Just freshly delivered.
Blink Dagger.
13 minutes. I mean, he's 2-0-1 only, but again, he kind of demolished the laning stage. So
yes.
He had a very early start. Pasha as well does feel pretty strong. He's already got the Ogre Axe going just straight into the Agnum Scepter here after the Urn of Shadows and Bottle.
I mean, I think the Aghanim Scepter is probably the best thing for a Brewmaster offlane when you're playing him more as an initiator. A lot of offlaners don't like going for the Blink Dagger as much as we saw for the LC going for Blade Mail first, which will replace the drums that LC's offlane used to go for. And similarly with the Brewmaster, as opposed to going for the Blink, he's like, why if I just get 2 charges? And that way you can initiate with Primal Split, which is a bit more impactful than having to blink in, Thunderclap, and then pray they leave you alone in time to use the X. Legion with Cinder Brew. Can someone trigger, please? No? There we go, finally Tiny coming in, and even crushes the Cockroach, but the Warlock Golem comes out. They're hoping to kill off Lorenof. He's going to be perfectly fine. In fact, his Legion Commander's in trouble thanks to that Fiend Scrub. They finish him off. They even get the Golem. Oh no! He's actually going to be able to get away, not barely, thanks to the Brewlings guaranteeing that kill. And Lorenof, he's just everywhere. Also kills Nofear as they murder his Golem in the back lines. It's going to be a huge win for Prosti Esli.
Yeah, that couldn't have gone much better for Pasha there. I mean, just got a great ulti off after. I mean, literally, they just kind of walk up and hit him with the Hex to start off a team fight. Blink Dagger, who needs him when you've got, I mean, Lorenof was there for the secondary follow-up, of course, and a great Fiend's Grip. Just really no counter initiation without Dendi being there. He's got an item on the way. It should be, oh, it's poor. He's poor. He's poor.
Sorry, something about how you went that, like you just realized, oh my god, AF, he has no farm. Honestly, for what the game is going, no, but in a usual AM timing, he's not going to be that bad, right?
Well, I was going to say Dendi is poor. I thought he had like a Yule's on the way, and I was like, okay, so he just bought Yule's. He has like Blink Dagger.
No,
and the oh no, 4K net worth. That's it. That's all he's got.
Dendi's not looking too well. I mean, the AM, I think, is looking fine for the most part, so at least her game is secure that way. And I think Puck is useful even without items. Obviously, you'd rather have items, but
Dendi also plays as well for Legion.
That's true. Dendi also plays a much more teamfighter-oriented Puck, not so much the carry. So I think it's less dependent on Puck. So Dendi will die again.
To live. Will he, though? Velheor is not going to be able to catch up in time. They've put Nofear to sleep, and they've got they've got detection here for the Nyx Assassin. They'll wake him up with Press the Attack. TSA considering going back in, but he knows they have detection of him here.
They're all running around with the Nightmare unit, but not actually doing anything. Now they do something. Now Lorenof is here. He's the man of action. He gets things done. And he merged Legion Commander with the Nightmare. They also cancel the Nyx Assassin. And with the Shackles, this time Nyx will not be getting away. Goodbye. Lorenof getting yet another kill. Even throwing the tree to guarantee it in the air. Because you don't want the supporters taking that kill away from you.
No. I mean, I think unironically you can't. I think Tiny mid, at least right now in a game 3 where I've not seen it too frequently yet. It's still early in the patch and it's developing. I think you can't afford to let any gold slip by. You just need, like, every single item is just such a huge milestone for you. It gives you so much more power here. Speaking of power, Drow's getting nice and powerful, farming in the jungle, going for the Manta style. Tiny's got something on the way. It's just some clarity, as he's going to be looking to keep the pressure up with this skid out taunts that he keeps showing off.
And the secondary power as well is going to be coming up to Brewmaster, who almost has his axe done.
Wow.
So that's going to be a really nice little second primal split. Your team fight's going to become almost impossible. It's a huge, it's a great timing for axe in the offlane Brew, honestly. With bottle, with the urn, with the magic wand, like he's running out of slots. That's how expensive or how rich he is. Give something to Dendi, dude. Like throw a coin his way.
Anything right now, honestly. He could really use it. I mean, he's farming at a respectable pace here. 1-1 and 0 overall. Not having the greatest of starts here. They've been unable to actually use this blade mail and try and string together a win here with the coil of anything. We've seen one golem as an attempt to counter initiate. Didn't go well, so we'll see what Bane have in mind, because we are going to have a pretty early Roshan being taken here, around 16 minutes. I mean, this is the second time I've seen a pretty early Rosh by a team that does Rosh decently, but it's no Slardar Ursa.
That's true, but it actually went quite well for them, honestly. Dendi's coming in. Guys, they're at Roshan. He has to initiate. Legion Commander's nearby. He lost the Warlock, though. That means no Golem. There's no way he can fight on the Golem any longer. And the Roshan's already down. Aegis for the Hawk. And that's going to be it. Oh, they're still going to go for the triangle?
We're 500 gold away from Ag, so it feels like now is our best opportunity, but obviously they don't know that. Only we have that information. AM has probably heard this, and he's like, no, don't fight. I need 20 more minutes of farm. Uh-oh, and they might not get it. Lorenof is immediately onto him. Okay, counterspell into toss, and he's going to be able to blink up to the high ground. Blink available into more. He's going to ping where he thinks a ward. He's not far off. But he walks right underneath a ward here. Very peculiar lane ward here for Prosti Esli. He's going to let him know when the AM is filtering out to the side lanes to continue farming. Yeah,
it's quite a peculiar lane ward, especially because it's so close to the warding spots. No way they deward this, that's for sure. And I mean, that secures your tier 2. Like I said, and this time there's no counter spell. He's gonna get it. Mash a tree into him before he can even blink away. Well played, Lorenof.
Yeah, that's thanks to the ward.
You were asking if Tiny mid is back. I think this is proof enough.
Well, you know, I think a lot of mid laners could probably kill an unaware AM on half HP, but I get your point for sure.
Okay, let me just talk him up, okay?
I get your points. It's looking real good this game. He is going for Echo Saber. He is just bought out on the Oblivion staff. That's on the way to the courier now.
So more traditional Tiny mid then. Like no special shard shenanigans, no axe build. I think it's fine, by the way. I don't think this build became bad. It just so happens that it got buffed because of the new runes, right? Because Tiny's a great bottle user and he's great at fighting runes. Because if you get close to him and he avatosses you, you're like, I'm done. So he's a very strong 4 or mid. And I think according to the Chinese, they carry too.
Oh, look at this ward. It's literally perfectly just outside of range top. Thanks, here. Yeah, on to Limitless, who's just eating auto attacks out from Dahak. A little gust in case there was a TP coming.
That's adorable.
I'd like to think it was just like a style gust, you know, just so you flex on him a little bit. But it was probably just to catch any TP's bottom. No, TSA did at least bait out a lot of, basically all the spells from Velheor, so these Serpent Wards aren't going to be put to any use. Dendi nearby. Can he actually make anything? He might just look to farm up these wards, honestly. It's good money, but he doesn't want to risk it. But like, once again, like, what's the plan B right now for Bait, right? Because Dendi's farming. He's got a Blink Dagger. It's on the way now.
In their defense, when you pick an AM, there's no plan B. It's AM or bust.
Okay.
That's kind of any team in the world will
yeah, there is no B in AM.
That's true. It's just he's just the plan A, right? So I don't know. It feels like this want to be one of those games where you lose 2 lanes of racks. AM is still farming, much like RTZ, and you hope that with the farm that he gathers while they're taking away your base, he is capable of winning the game by himself. And I don't know if that's good enough, especially against like Bane and Shadow Shaman. These are heroes that also counter these kind of styles, because hexes, you know, nightmares, fiends.
Yeah, I mean, and Brewmaster as well with the Cyclone can be super obnoxious. Pasha showing off his knowledge of the new trees that got planted.
Yeah, actually easier to do these kind of plays now.
Oh yeah, look, he might even find Dendi. It was a tree away. But Dendi does not want to defend this. Dahak just auto-attacking it from a ways away. And down goes a tier 2 tower. First to fall here for the likes of Bait, forcing AM to instead farm a little bit less efficiently in the bottom lane. It's a bit dangerous as well because they have a tier 1 they can TP to both mid and bottom. So he'd much rather be farming top if he can, but obviously that's not an option.
Yeah, it's tough for bait now because you don't really have a space creator. What are you supposed to make sure that's to stop them from pushing you? Because they have Drow. They have a really good push, and Drow went for the Manta style build, which got buffed incredibly for ranged heroes. And is of course much more useful for a Drow. What do you do to stop it?
Yeah, it doesn't feel amazing right now. I mean, Dendi's going to be going for the Eul Scepter. Like, it feels like we're in for a repeat of game one, almost like verbatim, doesn't it? I mean, we're going to be choked into the high ground here pretty soon. Dendi's going to be able to farm the waves from a distance. He's going to get maybe one more big item. That'll be the Euls this time around. Once again, his supports, they're not the best from playing from behind, right? TSA doesn't feel awesome. When you duel someone this far behind on an LC, you end up just feeding damage. Who's got 1,000 gold in the bank though, so Limitless as well as farming, but they are looking to hunt the AM on their own high ground. Instead, they'll have to settle for the Nyx Assassin, who does get off the...
Oh, nice.
The Nightmare. Yeah, that's a Fiend Script. Into the silence. Yeah.
They don't even need a Fiend Script. They're just gonna murder him. There's another option to prevent the AM from perhaps coming back into the game. You just murder him constantly, chase him down.
I hesitate to call that greed, but when the Tiny is rotating and Avatosses your Nyx Assassin at the bounty rune spawn, and you're farming Ancients, not but a stone's throw away, no pun intended, I feel like that's a good time to blink away.
I agree. Oh, poetry, but yeah, that was... Yeah, I don't know. What else do you have, though? Where else can you go in the map, though?
I get it. Because you have no other vision. You've got no vision on their side of the map. You couldn't have known how many people were there. It was bounty rune time anyway, so maybe it's just the mid lane Tiny there to refill his bottle. Like, I get it, but it seems like a risky move to make when they can TP to any one of these 4 locations that are equidistant to you.
Yep.
We'll see. I mean, it's unfortunately another big death here for AM. That's the 3rd of the game. They are going to look up. Yeah, good smoke play here. Dendi leading them into battle here with a silence. Pasha using the first of 2 ultis, though. As TSA trying to stop them from getting too great of initiation. There's going to be the golem now used. The puck has been found and maybe even killed. Eine channeling the ultimate. They're not going to cancel either. They're instead going to duel onto the Drow Ranger, and she might even win this duel. This is going to be the Nightmare to save her a bit of trouble here. They really want the drop, but they're not going to get her. She gets away with the Manta style. Nofear going to be summoning the golem there, but they have it down again, and that's only 1 of 2 ultis used there by Pasha. AM shows up to the fight maybe for a second, quickly realizes it's going south, and he just floats.
I mean, AM only has a Battle Fury to Yasha. What are you supposed to do in the team fight, right? You just don't have to. Even with a Warlock Golem, it seems weird that you pick such a... Oh, they actually might find him? No way. Toss on top of that? The Echo Saber? No, Watson can survive. That was close, though. Thank God he has the full counterspell now instead of maxing the mana break and stuff. Anyway, the choice there by bait to fight, I don't know, it feels like you don't have anyone to play around here. Nobody's giving you damage, a lot of team fight, and nothing to combine it with. And actually Shadow Shaman finds the AM. We have Shackles. He has enough time for Tiny just to walk here, waddle over, Echo Saber, and not even needed, apparently. The toss will be sufficient finish off this 4 AM.
Yeah, that was a bit rough there. AM getting caught there for the 4th time. His farm, okay, but he's only got 4 more gold than Pasha, who quickly farms another wave, and he's right back up there. Pasha, by the way, using an ulti. They're going to try and just fight the LC right outside of their base with 4 heroes alive on bait. Okay, TSA just ready. He's going to go for the counter initiation. Does manage to get the Carapace off in time. That'll save at least Limitless from getting tossed back to his death. There's a very real possibility, but Dendi just cannot find the opportunity to counter initiate there.
That little smoke here by Prosti Esli. See if they can find anyone, or just a smoke to get to the tower faster. They have Solar Crest on Bane, by the way, which has been an itemization we've seen a lot of the Bane. He doesn't need any items, so you might as well buy Solar Crest.
He had Blink queued up, actually, and I thought he was going to commit for it, but then he decided to dump his money into the Solar Crest as well. I think it's a great item as well. I think Blink is also an interesting perspective. They're going to catch him. Yet again, the Dota knowledge here at least does manage to counterspell away the Shackle, so maybe he can live 2 seconds on the Blink. Doesn't look like they'll continue the chase here. That would have been quite the death there, unfortunately. I mean, to answer your question, Avo, I think that's what the smoke was for. They knew that if we killed AM top lane, we showed bottom, we shoved bottom hard, we'll just take mid, rotate all the way back to top, and see if we can catch anyone else farming the wave.
Yeah, it's been too easy to catch up to this AM, honestly. Usually he's effective because he can cut lanes in the mid-game, right? You can just really blink forward and cut lanes super easily, and then at least he creates space for your team that way. But in this game, since Tiny's been catching him, he's been playing more as just a very low mobility carry with 0 farm. And you were saying it earlier as well, like, oh, his farm's okay, but you don't pick AM for okay farm. You pick him for great farm.
Yeah,
if you have to say that, it's looking bad.
Exactly. We at least had TSA snipe the outpost, but it'll be back in control here before you can say Cowabunga, dude. Pasha already had that one reclaimed for the team, making sure there's no opportunity for AM to try and sneak out and TP to an outpost and get into the triangle yet again. Even if he did do that, they've got a ward here as well, just waiting for him.
It's like Drow is also thinking about the butterfly next, which is a very common pickup. Great, especially against AM, who doesn't like going for MKB. Yeah, making it even more difficult for him to jump the Drow, which is the only way they can win this. Warlock walking up to the high ground, hoping to deward the triangle. I don't think you're in a position where this is even possible, because even if you deward this, are you going to fight your triangle? No.
Yeah, I mean, it's to try and at least make any movement on the map without being scouted. You can see, I mean, look at this, like, pitch-perfect ward placement. I believe this Observer ward is just out of range of the sentry he placed down. So he's not even going to be able to find this D-ward. It's a little hard to tell, but I believe it's just out of range, which is absolutely ridiculous. That's the second time this game has happened, but they're looking for the AM, just getting the blink away in time.
Do we have blink on the Shaman? So AM should be able to actually get to nice. Okay, and you forced a couple rotations. That's the space that AM usually... But you need the Legion with you to afford that, right? Legion is not going for the short build, by the way. She's going for Hood Defiance instead, which was the traditional build on Legion. Actually tried to go for the pipe, and now the Blink Dagger. So no innovation on his Legion Commander, which makes her the old Legion Commander, which...
Yeah, and that's not a B+ Legion, is it? That's more of a C, isn't it? That's not the Legion Commander that you show off on the report card to your parents and then ask to go for ice cream.
Parents never gave me praise or nothing, and then if I got an A, they wouldn't beat me, and that was my reward. So.
Oh my goodness. Oh goodness. Very strict parents,
Hispanic
of course.
No, that's not true actually. They never ever looked at my report. That's the Hispanic way.
That is kind of the Hispanic way. John Ranger, though, going to start up the second row. John here, Butterfly completed in 1,000 gold. We're going to get that Butterfly. Looks to push high ground here. Brewmaster looking for, after his BKB now. The Blink Dagger, we're getting just so many items here. I mean, they've already demolished Roshan. There's an AC on Tiny. He's going to go ahead and consume the Shard. So there we go. Tree Grab has no charge.
So now you can start itemizing his carry Tiny, which I like, because he already went for the AC, right? It suits him in this kind of playstyle. It also is really good for sieging high ground, by the way, which AC is also really good for. And guess what? You also have Solar Crest, so it's gonna be a high ground sieging machine.
Yeah, he's gonna be up here in no time whatsoever. Got Cheese ready to go. No BKB, but whoa, okay, Bullet being dropped and just in. Immediately Watson fighting with the team on this one. Didn't even get off the mana board. That's how quickly the Shaman went down for the buyback instantly from the LC, who did also drop, but they caught Watson.
So easy for them, honestly. Drow just literally sidestepped a bit. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm gonna murder him.
They went in without Dendi. He was farming bottom. He was finishing eggs.
Yeah, he had Dream Coil as well. No, sorry, he didn't have Dream Coil as well. That didn't work out. I mean, regardless though, all the Hawk had to do was literally sidestep and fight. If sidestepping is what wins you a fight, then you're in a bad position. Now with Tiny with his Shard, to push the towers is just so quick. You lost the Golem as well, so there's no way you can fight this. I mean, if they want to go high ground, I would commend them to do so. Well, he's been silenced, dueled as well. They stop the Legion Commander. Can they kill her in time? Nightmare, nice. Just spray Nightmares for a while. As Pasha decides, hey, I can actually win this duel. He still has the second charge of the split. So they're just going to manage to get this extra kill on the Legion Commander. And once the lane pushes, they'll take down the Rex.
Yeah, another big problem they have here is they can all kind of do, especially the 4 heroes that were not dueled to the 3 heroes, they can all help from range. So even though they were hit by the Fatal Bonds and maybe a worse team would have all gone in there to kill the LC, you know, within melee range, that's what would have gotten them killed. But the patience there prevails. They know that they don't really need to do anything else. And they caught Dendi with the Hex. There goes TSA on the way in at the very least, trying to save Dendi. He's got buyback. He's going to need to use it instantly. TSA has already gone down as Watson at the very least able to just barely get the blink away, covered by the counter spell. He blocked the LC. That was a dieback earlier for her, so still down to 30. Nofear just forced to run away. GG.
Nothing stops you, GG. They realized. Honestly, AM just didn't work out. I'm not the biggest fan of AM this patch in general, by the way. I don't think AM is the greatest pick. I thought, okay, so you picked AM, you went for the strat. Didn't really seem like it. I feel like you picked any other carry here who has as opposed to the AM that can fight early, and you can take advantage of your Warlock ult, of your Legion duel, of your Puck Dream Coil, and it would have been a pretty decent game. But with the choice of an AM,